Hello, English 1A hybrid students. Welcome to our Canvas portion, our online section of the class. And I do want to point something out here. Just keep in mind, this is a hybrid class. So a large portion of what you're going to do in the class is right here, is right online. There is a meeting on Friday, every Friday. So we'll be meeting this Friday, 9:30 to 11 a.m. And so that's why it's a hybrid class. Part of the class we meet together, and part of the class is online. So this is the online portion, and it'll overlap. There will be things that we start in class, or that we pull from here and work on in class. So it's gonna be pretty seamless between the two. I want to make sure in this video, I just want to tell you a couple things that are really important for you to pay attention to. So please go have a look at these different things and watch this video. The first thing I'd like to point out, and I know SA1 do this first, is start here. Let's look at the syllabus first, and I think you should actually look. I'm going to say a little bit about the syllabus, but I think you should read through it on your own. And here you get some really important information for the class. Okay, so there's my email, but I would recommend that you not use this, but you can use the Canvas email messaging tool. Reason for that is that my email, I get like 100 emails a day from all administrators in the state and all over the place. But here, this sort of separates out when students email me, and then I can see that, and I see that you emailed me, and it's probably better. You'll get a quicker response. I have an office at Foothills campus, but I'm thinking, and I put this as to be decided because I think I want to create an office hour either before or after our class on Fridays. So when we meet, we'll talk about that. We'll find out what you think works, and it'll probably just be in that same room, or we'll find a room at the Sunnyvale Center. Most of our class is online, but as you know now, there's a portion of it that meets weekly, so you have to be there. These are mandatory, so make sure you're there for that time. And this is the classroom. And just to keep in mind, this is at the Sunnyvale Center. So if you're walking around Foothill, where's SV 202? You're not going to find it. So you go down to the Sunnyvale Center. These are important deadlines for you to keep track of, and you might want to talk to your counselor about, when is it a good idea to drop, in the first 2 weeks. Essentially, that's the first 2 weeks of the class. Is it a good idea to drop before June 1st and take a W, or do you want to take a grade? Because after June 1st, you're going to get a grade. I'm going to clarify this soon. Probably the next time you look at the syllabus, you'll see this fixed, because our midterm is going to be online. It's going to be through something called Proctoria. It's going to be proctored online. But I think our final exam, it was unclear with the dean. I think we're going to meet face-to-face during finals week on that Friday. I think. I'll clarify that. Okay. We will be using turnitin.com for a lot of our assignments in this class. So I think what you should do right now, you can hit pause on this video and go and get into our turnitin.com class. This is the class ID. This is the password you'll need so that you can submit essays when they're due. You'll need these books. You need They Say, I Say as soon as you can get it. We're going to start using it probably next week. The Influencing Machine you don't need until week 5. And I'd say get it by week 4 because we're going to start reading it that weekend. So the Influencing Machine, you need that in a few weeks. So it's okay if you don't get it right now, but don't hold off too long. This tells you a little bit about the class, and I want you to know that primarily what we're doing in this class, we're looking at academic genres for reading and writing. We want to read how do academics communicate, and to do that, we also want to look at arguments and rhetoric. And so it's what motivates arguments and how do people argue and are they effective? And by the end of this class, you're going to have a much better sense of how you persuade people, whether it's in what you're writing or even just in conversations. So we're looking at that. We're looking at different genres. We're looking at how are you persuasive. This is critical. So this is the grading breakdown. 10% participation. This is how much are you in the discussion threads, and are you making comments? Do you just go in and you post your comment and then you leave? Or when you reply to your peers, you just say, oh, great post. That's it. This is really the 10% of the participation grade here is really are you engaging a lot in these discussion threads? Are you saying a lot to your peers and responding to their ideas and adding to their ideas? And then also when we're in class on Fridays, are you engaged? Are you participating in the small group conversations? Are you talking during the large group conversations as well. Then there's 20% short weekly assignments. Those are all on Canvas. Okay, so everything will be on Canvas. And then most of your grade is the essays. And if you really want to know, here's how the essays break down. It's pretty much based on word count, almost exactly. So the first essay, the letter of civic engagement, is worth 12% of your course grade. Right, so that's how it breaks down. I want to say something, and this is an online and hybrid class. So I'll probably change that to say hybrid. But a lot of students, when they're taking an online class, they think it's just like, the teacher posted all these quizzes. I just flip through the textbook. It takes me 15 minutes, and then I'm done each week. If that's your experience with online classes, that's unfortunate. If that's all you got in those online classes. But that's not this class. This is a critical thinking, critical writing, composition class. It's much more intensive. And so it's not just look in the textbook, answer a couple quiz questions for 15 minutes and you're done. There's a lot more work. There's writing that you're doing. There's responding to some of the readings I'm giving you. There's building your essays over time. There's interacting with your peers. So this is a much more involved online class because it's an English 1A. And so when we're doing the face-to-face portion, of course, you're there and we're working on what we can during that hour and a half, but you should anticipate that during the week let's say the Carnegie unit, 3.5 units of this class are online, which means you should be anticipating that you have to spend at least 3.5 hours a week just on doing the stuff in the class. And then, because it's a Carnegie unit, there's supposed to be 2 hours of homework for each unit. So that means an additional, what is that going to be, 7 hours outside of the class. So we're thinking like 10 hours outside of class that you're still going to be doing for this class. You should expect that for an online course. So there is a lot more work that you're going to be doing, and you want to make sure that you anticipate that and you can schedule for that. And you can always contact me if you're having a hard time keeping up. We can make some plans, some strategies you can use. There's also this Net Tutor that can be really helpful for online tutoring. And then since it is face-to-face, you can still come to campus and you can go to the TLC, which is at the Foothill campus. I'm going to try to have an office hour on those Fridays. Again, it depends, before or after, that I can also help you. Okay, so other things, there's all these other different policies. This is an important one right here that I want to point out. We are using Turnitin.com for this class. We're also using something called Proctorio, and that's definitely for the midterm and maybe for the final. So we might actually just use it for one essay and then maybe little quizzes here or there. But you do need to make sure you have Proctorio, and this makes it so that you don't have to come to campus for the exam. If you all really wanted me to have the midterm in class, you'd only have an hour and 20 minutes to do the whole midterm, which we can talk as a class. We'll see if that's what people prefer. If you do it at home over Proctorio, you're going to have the 2-hour window to take the exam. And so I'll talk to you on Friday about how Proctorio works. It's a good idea if you can get it working now, set it up now. I think there's an essay assignment I want you to do this week in the next few days using Proctorio. And so I'd like you to get that done so that when you come to class, you're kind of familiar with it and you can ask some questions about it. If it's a mess, we'll figure it out, and then you can post on the weekend. Okay, so I don't want to spend too much more time talking about policies on the syllabus. I'd like you to read through these. I just want to get started on what I'd like you to do before we come to class on Friday. I'm going to change some of this stuff because I think I want to have some of it done during class. But everything in the Hello class, all of this, please try to do this before Friday. It's actually okay if you do Essay 1 after class on Friday. That's fine if you want to post it that evening. So if you don't want to do it before class Friday, that's fine. But I think it's a good idea to try to get it done by Friday before we meet, but it's okay if you do it after. And then posting icebreakers, that's great if you could do it before, then you'll start to meet people even before we meet on Friday. That's a good idea, or you can do it after. But that stuff is due by Friday night. Also record your name so you can go in there and click on that. And then I'll make another video where I explain the next unit and things I want you to start doing over the next, or the first unit, Unit 1, the letter of civic engagement. But for now, this is what I'd like you to focus on over the next few days. And then there are a few other little assignments you can start thinking about as we get into Unit 1. We'll be getting that this week, and then we'll meet up on Friday, and I'll tell you some of the things you can plan for the class and help you out with some of the materials. Well, anyways, I'm really happy to have this opportunity to work with all you. I'm really interested in seeing the work that you're going to be posting, and then it's going to be cool that we get to meet up on Fridays. This is a new kind of class, and I'm really interested in seeing how it's going to go. I think it's going to be fantastic, but we're going to experiment together, so we'll see what happens. Bear with me, be flexible. I'll be flexible with you, and I'm going to make sure we have a good class. Okay, so I'm looking forward to seeing all you on Friday, and I'd like to see some of the work that you're posting here on Canvas. So have at it, and email me if you have any questions.